Welcome to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It supports the podcast and it doesn't cost you anything. Well, folks, it's another beautiful day in the crypto market. Bitcoin has pulled back a little bit, but currently it's sitting at $52,032 at the time of recording. But what I'm really excited about is the altcoins are starting to break out. Ethereum is over $2,800. We saw VeChain do a pretty massive move today. I hold VeChain in my portfolio. Folks, it is up 52% from a 7-day perspective. So that's a beautiful thing. My VeChain bag is looking good. XRP is seeing a little bit of a breakout as well. So a lot of these alts that were laying dormant are starting to move. And this is what I've been saying for a long time, right? I often remind you guys the liquidity flows from Bitcoin down to the alts. So we want Bitcoin to go as high as possible, hit its overbought scenario, right? Where it just tops out, and that's fine, that's normal. And then the liquidity flows to the alt. So exciting times ahead. We're going to see a mini alt season after this Bitcoin run up. And the Bitcoin run up could top out at, look, it looks like it could go to 57,000, right? Not a guarantee, but that's what it looks like. But I am anticipating a pullback for Bitcoin. I think it has to go down and test some of these lows again, build support levels, and continue to move higher. Once again, I am bullish. I'm anticipating new highs this year and in 2025 new all-time highs. So, I don't know what your altcoin strategy is, folks, but you could take profits or you can continue holding for new all-time highs in 2025. That's my plan. I might take some profits off Ethereum if it goes to like 3,500 bucks, which it's not very far away from that. So that's my personal plan. I took profits on Bitcoin at 48K, but that was the Bitcoin I bought in December of 2022, buying the bear market bottom. So I made money. I walked away with a nice profit. So as long as you're making money, I'm happy for you. That's the important thing, right? We want to see the technology get adoption, but we want to make sure we gain financial freedom as investors from our holdings. So folks, exciting times. Here is a chart shared by one analyst who calls himself the butcher of Capo. And many of you know who Capo is. He's the perma bear who is always tweeting that Bitcoin's going to 12K and so forth. But he gave the total market cap here, excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. You see these altcoins are primed for breaking out. So once again, we're going to see a mini alt season. This is not a move to new all-time highs. So just be prepared, know your strategy, have your plan put together and what you're planning to execute as far as buying and selling and so forth. Well, folks, today was a very interesting day. There's a lot of great crypto news I want to share with you. First, Empower Oversight, which is the nonprofit organization that sued the SEC, did FOIA requests to get documents exposing the SEC lies and corruption. Specifically, they did FOIA requests with Bill Hinman and the conflicts of interest that he had with the SEC and Ethereum. Remember, Bill Hinman gave the speech that Ethereum is not a security while being part of Simpson Thacher, a law firm that was part of the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance. Clear conflict of interest. Bill Hinman was, of course, warned by the ethics office of the SEC, and he ignored those things. So he has to be held accountable. And here we got news from in Empower Oversight that the SEC has disclosed to Empower that the SEC OIG, and the OIG is the Office of Inspector General, is in the final stages of an investigation into the cryptocurrency related financial conflicts of interest. Empower referred to the OIG in May of 2022. Now, this is good news, right? It means action is being taken. However, we could see a very corrupt move where we investigated ourselves and found ourselves of doing no wrongdoing, right? We've seen that with government in many different ways. My hope is these people at the OIG step up and hold Bill Hinman accountable. And look, Jay Clayton should be held accountable too, but he's probably going to get off. Hinman's going to probably be the fall guy, as I've said for many years. They're going to say he's the crazy drunk uncle that, did these things that we had no idea. They continue here saying, for example, when the Division of Corporate Finance Director William Hinman came to the SEC from the law firm Simpson Thacher in 2017, he continued to receive millions in financial compensation, thanks to Empower's FOIA requests or FOIA work. We now know the SEC Ethics Office told him that because he had a continued financial interest in the firm's profitability while in government, he was required to recuse himself from all matters that could impact the firm. And this is all documented, folks. It's in the emails that were recovered. Simpson Thacher is a member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. Its cryptocurrency Ether is a competitor with others like Bitcoin and Ripple Labs XRP. So Hinman clearly shouldn't have been helping guide the SEC's enforcement decisions on cryptocurrencies. Yet in a June 14th, 2018 speech, Hinman did just that, declaring Ether was not a security. He did not disclose his personal financial interest in Ether, and of course, Ether's value rose after Hinman's declaration. Did the SEC Ethics Office inappropriately sign off? Question mark here. Our Empower FOIAs have revealed Hinman consulted with Ethereum creator Vitalik Buterin during the speech drafting, as well as Joseph Lubin, whose company Consensus is another major promoter of Ether. We also know that thanks to Empower's FOIAs, that Hinman was specifically told not to have any meetings with individuals from his own firm. Hinman blatantly disregarded this requirement. When Hinman departed the SEC in December 2020, he returned to Simpson Thacher as a partner. That same month, the SEC sued Ripple, alleging XRP was an unregistered security. SEC Enforcement Division head Mark Berger left the SEC shortly thereafter to join Hinman at Simpson Thacher. Empower is ready to sue the SEC if it doesn't begin producing by February 23rd the documents in Empower's latest FOIA. The American people deserve transparency. The silver lining is that now we know one reason for the stonewalling is that the OIG actually has an active inquiry, which is almost done. However, whether the OIG report thoroughly addresses all issues we raise remains to be seen because we don't know the exact scope of the inquiry. The SEC's OIG needs to get this right and help prevent similar conflicts of interest from undermining public faith in the SEC's work in the future. Shout out to the folks at Empower. We have to keep the government accountable. It could be in crypto, it could be in anything else. Our tax dollars fund the government. They need to answer to us. They can't have this corruption and lies and all these conflicts. That can't happen, right? So regardless of, once again, if this is crypto or not, this cannot happen. Now, this is a crypto specific issue. We need to hold the SEC accountable. Bill Hinman needs to be held accountable. And Jay Clayton, who gave the rubber stamp of approval as the chair when Hinman was there, needs to be held accountable too, because he went to Apollo and all the other firms that were invested in Bitcoin and Ether. Clear conflicts, folks. It's unbelievable that this is happening. Now, enter Gary Gensler. What did we see yesterday? Gary Gensler went on TV, and I was saying in yesterday's podcast, this is a very interesting move. We haven't seen Gary in the media for a long time, this publicly, especially after the debacle of the Bitcoin ETF launch. With the debt box situation, the judge threatening to sanction the SEC lawyers. We know that the SEC got called arbitrary and capricious in the grayscale situation by these judges, right? The SEC is taking losses in the courts, and these judges are not putting up with lies and the hypocrisy of the SEC. So I said yesterday, what is Gary doing here? Is he trying to save face? And this could be part of it. He knows something is coming from this investigation, and this is all part of his PR move to try to change the narrative. He's not a dummy. Him and Elizabeth Warren know what they're doing, guys. We've seen it time and time again. They will use media, they will use press releases and so forth to try to change the optics. So it could be something is coming out of this inquiry by the OIG, but we'll have to wait and see. Nevertheless, Empower will sue them if they don't take the appropriate actions, and we will continue to amplify the content and highlight this. Now, before I move on, I am an Ethereum holder. I have no problems against any type of code or software because that's what it is. What I have a problem with is the SEC and the government. So I want to make sure that's clear because sometimes people think that, I'm anti-Ethereum, but it's not. It's just, it could have been any other project that was involved in this. It could have been Cardano. It could have been Solana, whatever, right? It doesn't matter. The point is the SEC is the problem. We are against the SEC and what they've been doing, not because of we're trying to do scam or bad things. We are trying to make sure that the SEC themselves don't become the bad actors because they've been doing things, breaking the law, lying, and not treating the crypto industry fairly. So This is what we're up against. Now, enter John Deaton, who we know has been representing 75,000 XRP holders in the Ripple case. He retweeted this news from Empower. He said, "We must have our ethics rules followed, and when they're not, they must be enforced. America is at its greatest when we have a level playing field and we allow the best technologies and innovations to compete fairly, and we must always stand up against gross government overreach." Well put. The other aspect to that, guys, John is thinking of running against Elizabeth Warren, who is Gary Gensler's handler, right? She has Gary Gensler on puppet strings, and she herself is being controlled by the TradFi incumbents. So this is being picked up by a lot of different media outlets. And here's one headline: Crypto advocate John E. Deaton considers Senate run against Elizabeth Warren. I will be first in line to support this. I will be donating to John. I will be supporting him. I'll be amplifying this. This would be beautiful to see happen. And I hope John goes at it, guys, and defeats this corrupt politician who is a big time hypocrite and liar. I've often said before crypto, I thought she had this certain image. She was anti-establishment, anti-banks. But then having gone into the details, I now see who she is. She's a big time liar. Don't get me wrong. It seems like she's a really good marketer because she paints herself in a certain way and people think of her in a different way. But she's one of the most corrupt folks. Now, here's an interesting thing that came out today with Elizabeth Warren. Let me just read the headline here, and you guys are probably going to be like, what the hell? Elizabeth Warren signs a certificate to honor Bitcoin creator Satoshi Nakamoto with a ceremonial flag flying. Americans are forever grateful. Senator Elizabeth Warren, Democrat of Massachusetts, honored Satoshi Nakamoto for the 15th anniversary of the network's launch with a commemorative flag flown over the United States Capitol, unveiled by PubKey. Uh, Guys, I don't know if this is fake. It seems like it's fake because here we got Caitlin Long, CEO and founder of Custodia Bank. She retweeted that news saying, "Oh my God, there were rumors of a pro Bitcoin mole on Elizabeth Warren's staff. One person told me I'd know it when I saw it. Well, I guess this is it. Nice job, mole." So something weird is happening here. I don't believe this is Elizabeth Warren. Now, for the small percentage that maybe it is Elizabeth Warren, it goes back to the theme of what I've been talking about. Could the Biden administration do a 180 because they want to win the election, they want the votes, and they want the campaign donations from the crypto industry, right? They see how many people are rallying. They see the presidential candidates have been pandering to the crypto industry. That's a possibility. And my other fact for that is Janet Yellen, just about a week ago, went before Congress and said, we need regulations. It was the first time she called on Congress to get it going. And in the past, she's always just said negative things. Oh, it's a threat to financial stability. Oh, this and that, right? Now she's saying Congress needs to pass regulations for stablecoins and crypto spot markets. So something is cooking up here, folks. It is very fascinating, but my gut tells me this thing is, as Caitlin Long said, it's the mole in her on her staff. It's not actually Elizabeth Warren doing a narrative change here, but who knows, right? She could surprise us because at the end of the day, just look how much money, her net worth, right, versus her salary. She's all about money, and she'll go where the votes are. It's all just politics, right? And we got to fight. Don't get me wrong, but these people will go to the highest bidder. Now, something else is cooking up here, and Caitlin Long shared it. She said, "Oh boy, seems it's coming." What is she talking about? Politico is reporting that Patrick McHenry said, "We have an understanding with Maxine Waters on stable coins. We need to get a larger agreement between the Federal Reserve, the White House, Treasury, Senate, and the House on this," House Financial Services chair says. Folks, I think, and remember, there's two bills in the House, one for the stable coins and one for crypto digital assets, such it's called the FIT bill, right? So it looks like they're going to be able to get something out the House. It's something is cooking up here because hear me out. You got the election coming up, right? That's a factor, and there's a lot of people who care about crypto. And like I said, a lot of presidential candidates were pandering to the crypto industry. Um, Janet Yellen is calling for regulations, right? She's a Democrat, Biden appointed person. She went before the House. So Maxine Waters heard that in addition to the Republicans, right, folks? And you have the SEC and Gary Gensler taking loss after loss after loss. It's embarrassing. And here's the thing, you got this inquiry on Ethereum and Bill Hinman, and you have an Ethereum spot ETF in play. There's a lot of conflicts there with Bill Hinman, what he has said that Ethereum is not a security, and Gary Gensler refuses to echo those statements. A lot of conflicts there, a lot of problems. How can that be solved? The House passes the bills, set the SEC straight, set the CFTC straight. Maybe it goes to the Senate, right? There's a lot of things at play here, and it looks like they're all moving towards a resolution. Once again, look at all the factors: the election, Gary Gensler, Janet Yellen out of the Biden administration, and so forth, calling for regulation. So interesting times, my friends. Interesting times. I am bullish, and this is all coming as we head deeper into the bull market, folks. It's going to be a beautiful bull market. Now, here we got Eleanor Terrett of Fox Business highlighting something around the Ethereum ETF, and Nate Garachi of the ETF president of the ETF store highlighted the SEC will be hard pressed to come up with a new argument for denying a spot Ether ETF when the same factors in the spot Bitcoin ETF approval are also at play here. Nate said, nice look at a sentiment surrounding potential spot Ether approval. So once again, this is a huge factor. Now, I don't think it's as simple as the same factors as the Bitcoin ETF. Yes, there is a lot of similarities, but Bitcoin for a long time had the designation. It's not a security. Ethereum, once again, Bill Hinman, who's under investigation, and Gary not saying the same thing here. And then you got Prometheum, they got their license for the custody Ethereum recently, and they're calling it all digital asset securities, echoing Gary Gensler's statements. A lot of drama here, folks. It's fascinating to see this play out. But, as the saying goes, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you. We're in that phase. Then you win. They won't win. History has shown it. Disruptive technology is here to stay. It's going to drag you kicking and screaming. You either capitulate or adapt to it and build with it, or it will drag you kicking and screaming, folks. So very interesting things going on. Here, Eric Balkanis of Bloomberg highlighted the following regarding U.S. banks. U.S. banks left off key Bitcoin ETF roles are pushing the SEC to tweak guidance around holding digital assets. A bank trade GP coalition sent a letter to the SEC asking them to exclude ETFs from broad crypto umbrella. They want a piece of the action. I don't blame them. It isn't fair. So you have these big financial institutions like BlackRock, Fidelity, which are investment firms, right? They can issue ETFs and have a custodian. The banks, remember, the banks got the green light to custody crypto from the OCC, but then that got rejected or blocked, right? Because under the Biden administration, Elizabeth Warren and all these clowns going crazy, they put a roadblock in that. So the banks are saying, hey, what about us? How the hell do you let BlackRock and Fidelity, do this? What about us? We want to launch ETFs. Well, we want to custody ETFs, right? So they want a piece of it, folks. On one hand, it's incredibly bullish. On the other hand, too, it is putting pressure on the Biden administration and Gary Gensler. Remember, banks are big campaign donators. So, folks, it is fascinating what is taking place. So incredible. Now, folks, Coinbase revenues surged to $954 million in Q4 amid market rebound. In full disclosure, I've often said it, I am a Coinbase stockholder. The aftermarket trading is up significantly. I'm up. I'm going to be taking some profits tomorrow. And I diversify, and I believe like Coinbase is a big leader in the market. And, with them custodying Bitcoin ETFs and so forth, I'm playing both sides. I'm holding crypto assets. I'm holding crypto stocks as well, or crypto related stocks. And Coinbase making money. And this is a clear example of why those banks want a piece of this market, folks. This is the future. Everybody's trying to grab as much of the slice of the pie as possible. So huge things are happening. Now, here, Austin Campbell, who I had on the podcast, he highlighted the following regarding Coinbase's stock price and revenues. He said, I would like to point out that my old firm, JP Morgan, had research out with an $80 price target and massively underestimating revenue, major double-digit percentage miss. TradFi still doesn't understand Coinbase. They are the big winner of the last 2 years of crypto winter. He's absolutely right. Now, many of you know PayPal has a stablecoin, PYUSD, and they continue to build and expand. Here we got news that PayPal has integrated with Aave and to enable some DeFi capabilities. So the PayPal stablecoin is built on the Ethereum blockchain. So it looks like they're, trying to get some DeFi things going. This is huge. This is not a crypto startup or a crypto exchange. This is a payment company which obviously existed before crypto. But innovate or die, adapt or die. Just look at what happened to Blockbuster, right? Netflix came along and destroyed them, and Blockbuster went out of business. You have to adapt to the technology. And this is why I'm saying we're in that fight. They're going to fight you phase, but we're going to win. The disruption is happening. Final item here, Witness wants to change the way we verify digital content. The Witness protocol will enable users to gain proofs over their data. So, folks, we've been seeing blockchain is being integrated into mainstream to help fight AI deepfakes and to create digital identities, which will address a lot of problems, right? And we have a problem with our data being leaked and breached and identity verification when it comes to voting. And we're going to see an incredible rise in deepfakes because AI is just incredible what's happening. And I'll show you what Sam Altman and the guys at OpenAI, released with Sora, where, well, I'm not going to be able to show you because I don't know if it's copyright, but go check out Sam Altman, what he's been tweeting and the videos he's creating with Sora. It's guys, it's mind blowing. It is mind blowing. We are definitely in the start of the next industrial revolution. It's wild. So, research and development company Witness has launched a verification protocol after it secured a $3.5 million in a seed funding round by Han Ventures and participation from Coinbase Ventures and a handful of angel investors. The company is led by former Paradigm, Google, and Facebook engineer Sina Sabet, if I'm saying it right, and a former venture investor at Framework Ventures, Joe Cole. Witness Protocol is designed to issue digital ownership using existing blockchain technology. In an interview with Blockworks, Cole notes that Witness enables people to gain proofs over their data, which can represent things like attestations signed by two different users. Here's a quote. The data can be consumed by an application because they can verify it even if the data isn't fully posted on chain. So this is fascinating, and I have to do some research here to see which blockchains you're going to use, because that would be, the key, right? You want to invest in the tokens of which blockchains are getting adoption, right? That's what we're trying to do here to make a nice return. So we're seeing incredible use cases popping up here for crypto and blockchain, folks. The future is interesting. You have the convergence of blockchain, AI, robotics, EV. We're going to have deep space exploration. I mean, you see what Elon is doing, right? Whether you hate the guy or whatever, the technology is what I'm trying to get you to focus on. Just as, I discussed with Kathy Wood in the early 1900s or late 1800s, early 1900s, we saw that industrial revolution with the automobile, the combustible combustion engine, electricity, the light bulb, and all these things, right? How that changed the world. And I mean, with vehicles and airplanes and you name it, right? And now, because of the internet and now blockchain and crypto and AI tech, I think you see where we're going. It's a bit scary. It's fascinating. It's interesting. There's going to be a lot of benefits, but a lot of things we do have to fight to make sure our rights are maintained and there's still balance, right, folks? But here's the great thing. As I've discussed with Raul Powell, macro investor, we can make money off of this. So at least give ourselves financial freedom to be able to fight back and to not have to opt in fully on some of these things where possible to keep that balance, right, folks? So that's what I'm here to do. Get financial freedom. I am passionate about the technology. I want to see it get adopted, specifically blockchain and crypto. And the things that are happening, though, I once again go check out what Sam Altman is doing today. The man was taking people's tweets, right, where they gave some sort of description of a penguin riding a bicycle in space. He would throw it into Sora and create a video off of that. Guys, it's mind blowing stuff. Um, It's incredible. Anyway, that's the news. Let me know what you think. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. Guys, share this podcast. If you can, please support the podcast in a free way. I'm not actually going to buy anything. Please sign up for my free email newsletter. Link in the description. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter X, Facebook. Once again, just a follow and a subscribe. It really helps, guys. Thank you for watching and listening, and I'll talk to you all later.